Fortune Fisher. There once lived a boy, and the boy had a little darling. Said the little darling to the boy, "Why don't you build us a wee cottage so we could get married and start living together?" "Oh, how could I ever build a cottage," said the boy, "as I haven't been fortunate enough to get money for it?" Well, the girl said, "If you can't build me a cottage, I won't be your little darling anymore." This made the wee boy really sad, really, really sad. But next night, in his sleep, he had a strange dream. In a dream, somebody was giving him advice. They said that he should walk deep into the forest, so deep no one had ever been. And there he would find a cottage. And inside the cottage, he would find a chamber. And inside the chamber, there would be a bed. And there, in that bed, he would find Fortune herself, fast asleep under a green, soft woolen blanket. And he should go and wake up the Fortune and ask her to give the money for the wee cottage. Well, when the boy woke up in the morning, he rushed right away into the woods. He found a path, and he followed the path deeper and deeper and deeper into the forest. And there it was, a little cottage, and inside the little cottage a little chamber, and inside the chamber there was the bed, and in the bed there was somebody sleeping under a green, soft woolen blanket. It was Fortune herself. And the boy managed to wake up the Fortune, and he was explaining his sorrows. And Fortune, she felt a bit pity for a young boy being so desperately in love. So she decided to help him. And she said, "Listen, go back to the path and continue walking on it. Go deeper, deeper, so deep that nobody has ever been in this forest. At the end of the path, you will find a pond. And in that pond, there are fishes, copper fishes, silver fishes, golden fishes. Catch them fishes, sell them fishes, and so you will get money good enough to build a wee cottage." Well, the boy left right away and started following the path again. He walked quite a while. He was a bit afraid because he had never ever been so deep into the forest, and the forest was dark. And then he found a pond. The pond was round. It was surrounded with green forest, huge trees, and big boulders. And the water seemed endlessly deep. It was like a hollow, round well. The water seemed black, but every now and then up jumped a fish, bright as a silver coin. So the boy sat on one of the boulders and started fishing. The hook had barely touched the surface of the water when the first fish got the hook. And it was a coppery minnow. Boy was so astonished that he had to scratch the fish with all his fingernails just to find out if it really was coppery. And it was. It truly was. The entire minnow was made out of copper, each fin and scale. Oh, the boy got so happy, he quickly hid the precious fish into his pocket and started fishing again. But then echoed a strange voice from the depths of the water. Is it more of this kind you'll be wanting then? The boy got very frightened and started looking around as he thought somebody had found him and his secret pond. But as he didn't see a living soul, he started to get a bit ashamed of his own jumpiness, and he started to talk to himself that, oh, yes, of course, I need more of this kind. And finally, he said loud, with the jolliest voice he could, of course I want more of this kind. Can't build a cottage with just one fish, can I? So he continued his trade and caught a lot of fine coppery minnows. But all of a sudden, in his hook, there was a perch. A mighty perch made out of silver. Well, now the boy got absolutely thrilled. A silvery perch. Is the water going to give him more of this kind now? And he threw his hook again, and again there was a silvery perch hooked, a fish so bright and shiny it looked like a newly sharpened knife. The boy was so excited. He had to jump around and he threw away all the coppery minnows and started to stuff in his pockets the silvery perches. Is it more of that kind you'll be wanting then? Shouted the same voice so loud that the boy almost dropped his rod. What is that for a voice? Should I be worried? Should I be afraid? And he was just about to panic and just run away when a huge golden pike snapped the bite. The boy was so awestruck he couldn't utter a word. He tried the pike with his teeth just to find out if it really was gold. And it was beautiful, shiny gold. The boy was shivering with joy, and he threw all away all those perches, and he put the pike on the ground and sat on top of it so that it just couldn't escape. Oh, a golden pike. That one pike alone is at least 10 times worth of all the minnows and perches together. Is it more of that kind you'll be wanting then? Shouted a voice so loud that waves rose high and the gritstone rolled down into the water. The boy's heart missed the beat, and he got so afraid he wanted to leave all the fishes and rods and just run. But then he remembered that he had a little darling, and if he wouldn't pick up at least the minnows, he wouldn't be able to build the cottage. So he started picking up the minnows. But then he thought that, what about taking the perches instead? Because with them I could maybe build a real house. And he threw away the minnows again and was about to put the perches into his pockets when he thought that, but if I would take that golden pike, I could build a mansion. And then he got an idea. What about if I could catch just a couple of more of those golden pikes? 'Cause then I could build a golden castle. The day was beautiful. The boy started fishing again. The sun was shining and the huge, colorful dragonflies were flying above the water. The boy was fishing and he was fishing and he got so many golden pikes that there was already a huge pile of them. Is it more of that kind you'll be wanting then? Shouted the voice, so loud and horrifying that the trees fell down and the boulders jumped into the depths of the pond, and the boy was standing close to the water, and he glimpsed down to see what was there, shouting so horribly. And then he saw it. A terrifying picture it was. An old man with hollow eyes and bald skull and rotten teeth. How ugly you are, water demon! Now I shall run! And he grabbed as many golden pikes he could, put them into his pockets and under his arms, and he just ran. He ran the whole way back to his village. And when he finally got into the village, he started to look for his little darling, of course. But he couldn't find her. He saw a man walking on a road, and he stopped him and asked, "Do you know where my little darling is?" And the stranger looked at him and shouted, "How ugly you are!" And he ran away. Ugly? Me? Thought the fisherman. And he continued searching. Finally he came to a little hut, and he knocked the door and asked, "Where is my little darling?" And indoors someone answered, "I don't know about your darling, but I had a little darling once, and he went into the forest to meet his fortune, but that was 50 years ago." "It was me! I went into the forest to meet my fortune. I am your darling. Please open the door." "No, I won't open the door, as I have another darling already." "Please, I have so much gold in my pockets, I can build us a golden castle." Then the door was opened, but it was not his little darling, but an old wrinkled hag, who closed the door as quickly as it got opened. "Oh, how ugly you are! You are not my darling, and I don't come to any castle, golden or not, with you." So the fisher boy couldn't do naught but walk back to Fortune's cottage. And there in her chamber, under the green woolen blanket, she slept. And as the boy got her awake and asked her about his little darling, the Fortune asked, did you find the pond? And did you catch the fish? And did you build the wee cottage?" "Oh, I did find the pond, and I did catch the fish, but I haven't built anything yet, because I'm planning to build a golden castle." "Well," said the Fortune, "you didn't ask for a golden castle, did you now? You won't find your little darling anymore." And the Fortune yawned, turned her back, and continued her sleep under the green woolen blanket. So much for the story.